opening scene of Black Dove's first episode, To Love 10, takes place in a British tavern around Christmas. A news item regarding the passing of the Chinese ambassador to the UK is shown on the television. Outside, Jason Andrew Koji strolls across London's streets. He makes a phone call to Maggie and Philip to inform them that he believes he is being followed. Sam Ben Whishaw, an assassin, is next introduced to us. He is called back to the UK for a new assignment. After then, the tone changes and we get to know the Webb family. Wallace Andrew Bushan, the British Minister of Defense, is married to Helen Keira Knightley, and the couple has 2 kids together. Wallace discloses that his daughter is still unaccounted for and that the Chinese ambassador to the UK passed away from an overdose. Helen admits that she was in love with Jason and that they have been having an affair for 3 months. She is told by Reed that there is a connection between the deaths of Jason, Maggie, and Philip. It is clear from the chat that Helen is a member of the Black Doves and a spy. Helen seemed dissatisfied with her life and marriage, and she had plans to leave it all behind in order to start a fresh relationship with Jason, who is not a spy. Helen stops at Jason's place. Helen looks for an item in the flat as the landlord opens the door. She hears the last voicemail that Jason left for her before he was murdered. Going through his belongings causes her to have some flashbacks regarding the relationship. Helen hits his vaporizer and sees that the vapor flows to an image, which is very intriguing. 2 assassins who pose as police officers show up at the landlord's home while Helen is there. They murder the landlord after they discover a lady in Jason's apartment above. After hearing everything, Helen texts Sam to let him know that her whereabouts have been exposed. Before Sam shows up there and shoots one of the assassins with a shotgun, leaving Helen covered in blood, Helen repels the assassins. Just before the cops come, Helen takes a box from a safe at Jason's apartment as they are running away. Reed and Helen later meet in a theater. She attempts to persuade Helen to keep quiet and let Sam handle things, but Helen doesn't like that. After learning that Jason was slain by a man named Elmore Fitch, Sam departs. Helen greets him in front of the building when he receives an address, but he has one more significant revelation. Jason was making a call to Kai Ming Chen, the Chinese ambassador's daughter, who is now unaccounted for in the media. The second episode opens in 2014. Helen shows up at an interview location wearing her name badge, Daisy Bradshaw. Given that she declined a Cambridge scholarship and vanished for 10 years, the employer wonders why she wants to work as a translator. He inquires about Bonnie Ware, her stepsister, who is incarcerated for life after killing her own father. That evening, Helen encounters Reed. She is a Black Dove, a spy who deals in information that is sold to the highest bidder, and Reed wants to recruit her. At a gathering, we see Helen Dawson wearing a name tag as well. She enters Wallace's conversation and observes him. She then approaches and flirts with him in the hotel bar. She infiltrates his laptop while he is sleeping. In the present, Helen is plagued by additional flashbacks of Jason as she and Sam go in search of Elmore Fitch, a former SAS marksman. They break into his apartment, but it's empty save for a single Christmas ornament. The Christmas lights begin to flicker and the bomb explodes. And in that evening, a guy breaks in at Helen's home. The man approaches and points a pistol to her. and Helen throws a knife at him. With a knife to his throat, Helen subdues Elmore. During the altercation, she queries who paid him to murder Jason. He says they offered 100,000 euros, but he doesn't know who. She leads him outside into the barn, puts a pistol on his head, and murders him. At a pub, three ladies approach Sam. Among them are the ladies who attempted to murder Helen in Jason's apartment. The other night, another assassin and an elderly woman named Lady. Outside his house, Sam observes Michael. When William shows up, she promises she will stay and care over him. Sam follows Lenny's instruction to murder Hector in order to protect Michael. But when he arrives, Hector has vanished and everyone else has died. He notices a camera filming while he looks about the warehouse and views the video. When the shooter arrives, he witnesses Hector and Kai Ming departing. Sam goes back to read at the start of Black Dove's third episode, and she mentions how he has been pressuring her to join the group. When he offers to be Lenny's triggerman, Reed is perplexed and remarks that nobody truly knows whether they can do it until they try. Lenny, who is also perplexed as this is his first time performing a task of this nature, briefs Sam. Nevertheless, Sam arrives at the appointed location and murders his target. Sam teaches Helen how to fight and kill 6 months later. He also sees Michael for the first time here, and as their eyes come into contact across the bar, it appears to be love at first sight. Sam's most recent task is to eliminate the Newman brothers, and he is deeply involved with Lenny. Returning to the present, Sam discusses his discovery with Lenny. Lenny is concerned, but Hector seems to be in Pac-Man defending his fortress against the army. Before he meets Helen for espresso, Sam enlists the two gunmen named Williams and Elena, who are working with Lenny to raid the compound with him. Wallace meets with the Chinese, who are clearly unhappy with the way things are going. The Chinese mention how they think the police are involved in the crime of hiding the ambassador's murder in the kitchen. They have video taken 1 hour prior to Kai Ming's kidnapping from outside her apartment, where a man called Ko Atwood ran away. Kai Ming is dating Ko, who works as a CIA operative. This suggests Ko and the American are involved when there is no video of what transpired inside Kai Ming's apartment. It appears to have been deleted. The Chinese are now looking for a solution since it appears like the Americans are involved in all of this. Sam and a talented group of assassins dressed as partygoers plan a bold Christmas-themed raid on Hector's base to begin the fourth episode, as Sam's unrelenting pursuit of Hector leads him more into the enemy's stronghold. The festive atmosphere is quickly ruined by the din of gunshots. After a devastating strike ends their encounter, Sam is unarmed and left defenseless against Hector. Due to the CIA's suspected participation in the unexplained murder of the Chinese envoy, the world is on the verge of war. A sense of desperation is introduced into their conversation by the Prime Minister's urgent phone call revealing the findings of Steven Yarrick's remains. The call from repair shop turns Helen's personal life into a terrifying situation. Her question regarding the safety of her family is met with a chilly silence that makes her uneasy, as a premonition of the hard truths that both characters would soon face. The Prime Minister subtly warned Wallace that the world functions on an entirely different level than he presumes. Sam's search for Kai Ming Chen takes a surprising turn. Williams grudgingly offers to protect Kai Ming, and Helen's touching conversation with Wallace is clouded by eerie memories of Jason. Sam and Michael had a heated argument, during their stay. As she sends Helen on a perilous trip to deliver a vital message to Cole Atwood at the U.S. Embassy, Reed's leadership of the Black Doves is pushed to the test. Helen and Cole escape from persistent Chinese agents following Helen's run-in with Vanessa within the embassy. A new dimension is added to the story when it is revealed that the continuous unrest is the product of the Clarks, a powerful and covert crime gang. In the episode's climax, Helen and Sam are being aggressively hunted by Chinese agents, with Cole following closely behind. The three flee on foot once the Chinese pursuit is halted by the stationary vehicle in traffic gridlock. Williams calls them in the middle of the pursuit to inform them that her residence is being ambushed. The three of them dash through, take over a taxi cab, and go to Williams' flat. Sam jumps through the glass just in time to get away with a shot at Williams. Williams discloses that the Clark troops had abducted Elena and Kai Ming. Seeing no other option, Sam brings the ragtag group to Michael's flat. When the repair shop calls Helen, they disclose that they are willing to trade Elena and Kai Ming for the video footage. Helen then asks Cole to grant her entry to meet Trent. In addition to pointing out that MI5 hasn't been seeing every person who had been at the embassy, Reed's philosophy of selling to the highest bidder is exposed when questions about her intention to hand Cole over to the Chinese comes along once again. According to Reed, Helen's only way out of this situation is to turn Cole over the following morning. Sam was forced to comply with the directive, ignoring Reed's request to turn Cole over, as Atwood had also fled the apartment during the disturbance, most likely to return quickly to the U.S. Embassy. Meanwhile, that night, Helen eventually understands that the jewelry shop where Maggie had worked could house the video camera footage everyone is seeking for. In order to achieve this, she visits the jewelry store the following morning, calms the jeweler, then slips into the back room, opens the safe, and finds the camera. Her victory lap is brief, though, as Danny, who has abandoned her pretenses of being a black dove, gets into the store and obviously, on Reed's directives, is meant to seize the camera in the event that Helen is unsuccessful in her goals. Sam wakes up in episode finale, shackled and powerless besides Elena and Kai Ming. When Helen contacts Reed in rage after their altercation with Danny, Reed responds that she and Sam are untrustworthy. She admits that while she dispatched Sam to assassinate Alex, he failed. On the phone, Reed informs a caller that the recording is there and will soon be transferred, but that they may take immediate action. Williams, Trent, and Helen reach the Clarks. Trent gets a pistol in his pocket thanks to Helen concealing it. Sam, Elena, and Kai Ming are freed once they enter, but Alex and her assailant arrive before they can depart. Wallace learns in Downing Street that the Americans believe they have a tape that clears them. Wallace informs the Prime Minister, who acts as though he is unaware. Alex Clark receives a text from the Prime Minister alerting her to the approaching Americans. Alex tries to escape after receiving the text, but Helen stops her. In addition to wanting answers, she wants to get revenge for Jason's death. She takes the firearm out of Trent's pocket and raises it at Alex. Sam takes the man's gun to force him to kill himself after Alex takes it during a fight. Because they believe in the imminent danger of starting a gunfight, the Chinese and Americans begin firing at one another on the street outside. As a result, after killing Alex, Sam kills Trent. Helen passes down the streets after escaping the conflict. Helen gives Cole the recording as he leaps out from behind the vehicle. She informs him that Trent and his mother have passed away and asks him to show it to the Chinese. Reed claims that despite Helen's astonishment and distress, she kept investigating Jason. Reed gives Helen all the information she could uncover on Jason and informs her that the PM is leaving and that she should report to work since they would be searching for a replacement and Wallace is qualified. Sam returns to Michael in another scene and they embrace. As all this is going on, Helen ends their narrative by dropping the microchip that Reed gave her about Jason into the Thames, close to the bench where he passed away. Sam visits Lenny and informs him that Hector has extended an employment offer. Helen goes home. On Christmas morning, Wallace and the children rush downstairs. Helen rests her hand on Wallace's shoulder while they hold hands. Helen contacts Sam and extends an invitation. Before the screen pans black, Michael dances with his daughter and their friends while Elena and William enjoy the Xmas view with Kai Ming on their river sailboat.